So you mentioned the turnovers and your energy because of that. How do you get through and find a way to not allow that to affect you? What are you telling yourself? What are you working on? How are you going to work through that?
I just tell myself once I tell the ball over, just have the next play mentality. Not worry about the next, not worry about the previous play.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I want to make a point. That was really good. That was really, really good. One point to make, and I think you did a good job of it. I noticed you picked up on it right away. The first thing out of your mouth was right? He never said it again. Let me teach y'all something. If somebody asks you a question and you don't have the words yet, don't say nothing. You don't have to say any of that. Just think about what you want to say and then say it. So that's a good job. I can tell you noticed it right away, didn't you? You were like, I gotta not say and you cleaned it up. That's good. That's what you have. I want you guys to really understand how important that is. To be able to correct yourself in the moment, but not get lost in the questions that are coming. Does that make sense? Who's next? What's your first name? Esmond Thomas?
Yes, sir.
Esmond. I like that. Spell it.
ESMOND.
All right, Esmond. All right, Esmond. Big game for you tonight on the glass. 15 rebounds. The team wins the game by 20. You didn't play a lot in the second half. For you, what did that mean for you and your teammates for you to be able to get that rest in the second half?
That meant a lot. You know, it got. Okay, can you ask that question one more time? Sorry.
Yeah. 15 rebounds, big night on the glass, got the win, but and you didn't play a lot in the second half, so you had a chance to get some rest, got a tough stretch coming, but for you, what did it mean for you to be able to have that kind of performance early and then get some rest on the back?
Yeah, it really gave me some time to get some rest and be able to support my teammates. You know, they were able to bring home the win, so that's really all that mattered.
Why was your energy so high? What like this is a career high in rebounds for you. What was your mentality coming into this game? Why were you able to perform this way?
My mentality coming into the game was I'm just trying to win. Like that's what I'm here for, just to win.
What was the message from coach to you going into the game about what he needed from you tonight? And do you feel like you were able to deliver?
Yeah, of course I could do better, but coach really just said come out there with energy, do what you need to do, like get rebounds as I did, and yeah.
Early in the game, your point guard was really struggling turning the basketball over. What did you say to him? There was a timeout I saw. You kind of pulled him to the side. What did you say to him to get him back on?
I just told him I was like, hey, keep your head in the game. We need you. Be a team, so we all got to be in the same mindset. And came out there, you put it off, we put it out.
How good can this team be? That's gonna happen though. You never know what's gonna be happening out there. That's gonna happen. I heard him. I know what he said. But you're in this moment. You can't break. See? See? Can't break. Can't break. Clap it up, boy. I'm actually glad that happened because there's a point to making that. When you see people after games and it's a coach and a player sitting up here, how many people you think are sitting up here?
Wow.
Exactly. You said a lot, right? There's conversations happening all through it. You cannot let that break you. I'm telling you. I see all y'all looking over there right now. I see it. Again, there's things happening around you. You gotta stay locked in. I'm gonna tell you guys a quick story. I lived in Connecticut for a long time. I had a young lady who All she ever wanted to do was go to UConn. I had a good friend who was an assistant coach there at the time. I convinced her to come watch this kid play. So I get to the game, I'm sitting up high in the bleachers with said coach. She comes out of the locker room, immediately goes to the bleachers and picks up somebody's baby. My friend the coach goes, I've seen enough, and left. Never saw a second. That's why I say you can't break. You can't. Because if this is a post game for one of y'all's games this season, and John Shire standing back there, and you break, and he walks, he's not coming back. He's not. Because you just showed him you will waste his time. There's too much money in college basketball to play with y'all. I'm telling you right now. There's too much money to play with y'all. I've seen it. And you might think, oh, that's just Duke. No, it goes all the way down. I want you guys to understand something. When you go play for a college coach, what are you affecting every day? That's right. Which means what? You're allowed to teach others. If you get somewhere and you're not quite as good as they thought you were, that's their fault. They misevaluate. But if you don't do what you're supposed to do or what you're asked to do, that's your fault. They'll get you out of there faster than they got you. You understand what I'm saying? This is people's livelihood. They got to feed their families off of y'all doing what they asked you to do and perform. That make sense? Who's next? Oh, got up there quick. What's your name? What's up? Jalen Connor. All right, now remember, you cannot break. You can't break. Sure? You ready? You're not gonna break it all. You're not. You don't see nothing else going on. You just answer a question. Locked in? Locked in. 100%? Why y'all losing that? What small stuff for you tonight? Talk to me more about that. Elaborate on it.
Really just when they were saying screens, really couldn't talk over the screen, not boxing out. Really what the coach really was talking about.
For you, in a game like this, you lose the game, you guys are 1-5. Conference plays around the corner, you got one more non-conference game. What's your mentality going into the next game and then getting in the conference game?
Really just going out there trying to get a win, not thinking about the last game, going out there trying to get a win. That's what it is.
What goals are still on the table for this team and how do you reach it?
Our goals are to continue to be great, be positive, not think about the negative, talk everything out. Because we lost. Our argument is it's not going to look better already, it's going to go bad. So we communicate, we all on one page, and we'll be straight.
Are you playing IMG Academy next? What do you think about that basketball team? You watch them on tape, you think about what that game's going to look like. What's your mindset going into that game, facing a team in that kind of time?
Not really worried about the time, just worried about the game, just about the play hard.
How do you get a win against that team?
Do the smallest way, do what they don't do.
Which is?
Honestly, I know they probably have like all that stuff, so they don't really have to box out. We have to box out, make sure extra passes, play easy, all that other stuff.
What's the most important thing for you with this team the rest of the season?
Really just helping the team, getting everybody better, day by day.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good answer. Good answer. The main thing I would tell you with that, because that's a lot of really good answers and a lot of good understanding of, right, like making it about us, right? It's also okay in that scenario to give, like when I said, how do you beat this team? Like, coach gave us a really good game plan. You know, we love what our coaching staff has been doing to prepare us. So like, you can always slip that kind of stuff in, but that was really well done. That was really well done. Anybody have any questions right now? Nobody has no questions. So all of y'all will be perfect with it. Speak up.
How do I like decide what they giggle about the stands? I can't decide that.
You can't.
Yeah.
But you can decide to not respond to it. That's the decision.
I'm human too. Like,
You are.
I'm human. If somebody started laughing at some weird stuff, I mean, I said it, but it wasn't like I said it like that. It was normal. And then I thought of what I said. They thought of what I said. They were like, whoa.
Well, see, I'm
Like,
gonna
how
tell
did you not laugh up there? You were looking at me.
you know why I didn't laugh? Because I led you to it. You didn't realize I led you right to it.
Your face really made me laugh because you understood that.
Because I heard it. I heard everything. But see, that's what I want you to understand. Is like, you can hear it. That doesn't mean you react to it. Does that make sense? There's a lot of stuff you're gonna hear. It's whether or not you react to it, right? I can tell you right now, I played football in college. At Penn State, it's 107,000 people yelling on the third down. People screaming every night. You know what I could always hear? Over 100,000 people, my position coach. I heard everything he said. You have to be able to channel what you're trying to listen to. This is one thing. What are you going to do if you're playing in college in a 20,000 seat arena? And everybody's yelling. And there's 2 minutes left. And you got to understand how you want to handle this high screen and roll action. And he's got to tell you what's coming because he's behind. You got to be able to hear his voice. You can't hear nothing else. You can't. Now, I just related that to being on the floor, but it's the same thing in this environment. You have to be, like, the hardest thing to do when you're being interviewed is concentrate on the interview and nothing else. That's the hardest thing to do. But if you're listening and concentrating on that, you'll be able to answer the question. Because here's the thing. I want y'all to understand something. When you answer a question, people are looking for the one word in there to turn into the next question. They have 2 or 3 basic questions. How'd you win the game? What was the key tonight? What's your mindset going into the next game, right? All of that's pretty standard. It's when you say something and they attack that word, that's what you got to be prepared for.
How would I, as a player, deal with an intentionally antagonistic question that's directed towards me?
Give me for example, of the question. 'Cause I'm going to give you an answer.
Okay. 2017, Russell Westbrook asked a question about his teammates. Essentially, the question was directed towards him. Like, when he's on the floor, he's carrying the team. But when he's not, Steven Adams, the rest of them, his players, they're doing bad. And the question was essentially, how do you deal with carrying your teammates as if it's like the load on his back?
It's not a load on my back. I just go out and do my job every time I'm on the floor. And for those guys, I know they're working hard to do their job. See? Easy. Done. You know how long I've been interviewing people for 23 years. In some way, shape, or form. I got radio shows, I do games. There's a camera always on. There's a microphone always on my head. Well, a headset on my head or a microphone on my head. This is, I do this all the time.
How do you focus on the last and keep composed no matter what setting?
Very simple. I know what I know, and I don't know what I don't know. That's it. It goes back to what I was saying to you guys earlier. You're on the court. You know the information better than anybody. You already know. Questions? Then we're going to jump back in. Any questions? No questions? What's your first name? James. James? Yeah. James what? James Wood. James Wood? Christian Wood? Or who? You know him? What's your number now?
No.
Ain't no kid for him?
No.
You don't know him? Where you from? You Charlotte?
Charlotte.
Where?
North Carolina.
big moment for you guys, large underdog. How do you approach going into this game to try to get it?
As a team, we just focus on just playing, doing what we do, not worrying about it's just another game go out there. Just do what we do best.
Their point guard, who is the #1 player in the class, has basically said, he came out and said earlier this week, I'm not really worried about this game, I'm only going to have to play the first half. You're going to be guarding him in the first half. How do you respond?
You're gonna realize real quick that that's not what it is. That's all I can say about that.
He's going to realize real quick that's not what it is. He said he's going to score 30 in the first half.
Hey, just watch. It ain't gonna happen.
Now, if you guys don't come away with a win, what's going to be the reason for that?
That's gonna be me. I play the best defense for my team. They know what I bring, and that's gonna be on me. I'm a leader, and I'll lead this team.
So you say that's going to be on you. He said he's going to put 30 on. Does that mean he will have gotten 30 is the reason?
Oh, he's not getting that. It don't matter.
What makes you so confident in your ability to slow it down?
I know the work I put in, a lot of unseen hours. No one working hard for me.
What's your conversation with your coach like? Going into this game, what have you guys talked about in terms of how you want to handle some of the different full court pressures and those types of things?
We just work on, when you say full court, like, what's different?
They always press. They change it every time down the floor. It's a 1-2-1-1. It's a 2-1-2. It's a 2-2-1. It's a 1-2-2 trap. All these different things. 1-2-1-1. They're always changing. How do you handle that? What's your mindset when you get the basketball inbound? How do you assess and then attack?
Our coaches put in a lot of good press breaks, taking us through it, but really, just when you get it, be patient and you report, know what you're going to do next.
For you, going into this game tomorrow, what do you feel like the goal for your team needs to be? And then what is a personal goal for you coming out of this game?
The goal for our team needs to be obviously to win. And the personal goal for me is you told me you're trying to score 30. Stop doing it.
All right, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Now, I like his confidence, right? But as a coach, if I hear one of my players say, as the coach of the other team,
Correct.
right? Hey, John, guard over there at Lab U, so you're not getting 30. He's locking you up. You gave them billboard or bulletin board material, something for them to rally around. So they already the #1 team in the country. So you just added a little more fuel on the fire. Now I agree. You confident? You think you're gonna lock them up? You may or may not. We don't know because the game happens tomorrow, right? But now they're in there. Oh, he said he locking you up. Now the guy that's already probably one of their best players is even more fired up. Now the team is fired up. Now the crowd is going to be on you. Every bucket he scores, now they Cameron crazy on you. You know?
So the easy answer to that question, and I did that on purpose because y'all don't realize I'm reading y'all better than y'all realize because I knew you was gonna go there. I can tell by the way you move around. The easy answer there is, yeah, I did hear that, but for us, I just feel like we have a good plan. We're just gonna try to make it tough on them. That's it. Don't give them nothing extra. Now in your mind, I love your mentality in here. Just don't spit it out. You understand what I'm saying? Never give anybody anything extra. Never. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, some of the conversations we used to have in our locker rooms, we had guys, when I was at Penn State, we would literally look at certain guys and be like, hey man, I know you haven't played in 5 games. You're going to play tomorrow. As soon as we get the press conference before the game, what do you think about, Iowa? Really good team. They're so well coached. It'll be tough for them. We done already told the backup to the backup to the backup. Bro, you finna play the whole 4th quarter. There's a way to have the confidence, but keep it in-house. Because here's the other problem. Again, your confidence is your confidence. I'm not trying to disrespect nobody in here. But let's say you get in foul trouble, or you just coach take you out just to get a break. Now you gotta guard that dude. He's still trying to get 30 because you said he wasn't gonna get 30. Now you gotta deal with what you said. That's why keep that in here. Keep that in here. The confidence, there's nothing, I'm not upset with the confidence. Keep that. First of all, I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you're ever gonna take the court, field, pitch, whatever sport you play, if you go into it thinking you're gonna lose, don't even get out there. Because it's already over. Don't even waste your time. But in that space, remember to protect your teammate too.
Yeah.
Basketball is one of those sports in which you're not going to be able to guard that guy every possession. Whether it's you're getting a break, whether there's a screen action and you get a switch, right? There's a bunch of different reasons. But he still got in his head that you said he ain't gonna get 30. So remember, when you say that, you might be setting the next person up that has to guard. All right? Confidence is fine. Just squeeze the words back. Okay, yeah, we did hear that. He's a really good. Compliment him like crazy. Oh, he's a great player. He's got all the ability. He's certainly capable of that, but we're just gonna try to make it tough for him. How many times who's the best player in the world right now? What does LeBron always say? Oh, Steph, that's a great player over there, man. It's gonna be tough for us. LeBron will say that about, I'm trying to think of an average small. What's the dude? Tobias Harris. Does Tobias Harris scare LeBron?
No.
Every time LeBron talks about Tobias, great player, he's got all the ability, compliment sandwich, make it all sound good. LeBron walked away from that interview going, man, I'm finna get this dude 40 and he gonna score 2. He already know that. But you don't give him anything. I'll tell y'all a quick story. I will never forget this in my life. I was in Connecticut. We went to the gym to hoop one day. And kind of historically, one of the best players in there was always Doug Gottlieb. Now he's a basketball coach, but he played at Oklahoma State. Rod Strickland happened to come in there that day. Yeah, that Rod Strickland. Rod was clearly not in full basketball mode that day. He was just trying to get up and down the court. Gottlieb hit a couple of shots. At one point, he turned to Strickland and said, "You can't guard me." Rod Strickland scored the next 14 points. And Doug couldn't even get a shot off. Do not provoke anybody in any sport. I seen Doug Gottlieb do that to Jason Williams. Well, Jay Williams now. The one that played at Duke. After the leg injuries. He eventually made Jay mad. Jay went crazy, started dunking on him and the whole thing. And then somebody goes, why don't you go back to the NBA? Jay goes, I can't do this every day. Tomorrow I'm going to be hurting so bad. But because Doug ran his mouth, Jay went to that place. Do not give anybody a reason to go to that place. Don't. Because what if the flip side was said and somebody said, I'm going to shut you down? You go into that place, right? Why you going to sit in there? You got to think about that. That's all I'm saying. And again, you should have confidence in your ability. But you also have to think about the team and everybody else you got to protect. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if I'm on your team, I may not be the quickest, for the guy moving laterally against this little point guard. If I get caught in a couple switches and he cooking me, and every time he get a layup, he turn around and look at you and look at me. I'm looking at you like, you did this to me. You know I can't guard him. It's your fault. And now you got that going on. So again, the confidence isn't the problem. Just remember to protect your teammates. Make sense?
Yeah.
Questions?
You just talked about media players. Like, who do you feel is the most media trained media player?
LeBron James is the most media savvy person I've seen in 25 years. Probably 40 years in my whole life. He's the most media trained person. Now, he's been doing it since he was 15, 14. But he's very media trained. Very media trained. All he does is compliment, and talk about getting better.
Here's an example of somebody bad.
The poster child was Charles Barkley. But you can think about Jaylen Brown he should be better. Sometimes he gets himself in a little bit of trouble. He knows how to get out of it because he's super intelligent. Like, I don't know how many of y'all know, like, Jaylen Brown's, his IQ is crazy. Like, he's crazy smart. But he's honest to a fault. Actually, I'm glad I looked up Rondo. The worst. Rondo, because, and this is what I want y'all to understand. There is a difference between being here and being with the homies. When you're with the homies, and you can be as authentic, genuine, real, whatever phrase you want to use, that's Rondo. To a fault. Because when he sits here, he's the same guy. That's not good. Because hey, why'd you give up 85 points in the first half? Coach's game plan wasn't really good. We didn't agree. Rondo, you can't say that. Rondo is one of those people that he's going to tell you exactly what he thinks. Westbrook is another one. They're going to tell you exactly what they think. When you sit up here, especially after a loss, you can't tell people exactly what you think. All right? How many of y'all have ever heard of a cool down period? You know what that means? No, say it, come on.
No.
You ever heard of that? You know what it is? They don't let athletes, they usually don't let the media in the locker room for at least 10 minutes. So they can cool down. So they're trying to give them time to not say something adrenaline and emotionally charged. Because that's what can happen in those environments. You just lost a game, it's a playoff game, whatever. You don't want to say nothing loaded, so we try to give them 10 minutes before they let the media in and start putting cameras in. One of the best at manipulating that was Kobe Bryant. Game went in, and I've actually talked to Kobe about this specifically. The game went in, he would have to do all the media. By the time he got in the locker room, they were about to let the media in. Guess what Kobe did? That's when Kobe went and took about a 45-minute shower. Kobe just stayed in the shower. Took forever. Half of them are like, man, I gotta go write the story. I can't even wait on him no more. But he was calming down. He was letting himself be like, I can't go out there and say, Shaq needs to work on his free throw shoot. I can't go out there and say, Shaq's out of shape. So I'm gonna stay in here in this shower and keep telling myself, I'm not gonna talk about Shaq until I'm ready to go out there and not talk about Shaq. He understood the assignment. All right, and I want y'all to be able to do that. And trust me, this kind of stuff, do it as much as you can. Learn about it as much as you can. I'm gonna give y'all an assignment now. When you watch, how many of y'all watch SportsCenter or ESPN or any of that? Watch the interviews that they do with people. And watch how those people answer questions. There's a way to say a whole lot, but not say nothing at all. I can have a 15-minute conversation with y'all and never really answer your question. But you think I've answered every question you asked. I've mastered the art. I do radio every week. Sometimes people ask me about a game I did not see. How do I get around it? I can give you an answer without really saying it. Huh?
That's really not possible.
It really is. I do it all the time.
If I ask you about a game and you didn't watch it, I'm gonna be able to find some sort of hole on what you're saying. All right. What about our first game this weekend? What would you say about what I did and what I did wrong and right?
Did you win the game?
Yes.
You won the game. Great win for the team. Positive moment to get some momentum going. The key is going to be continuing to get better as they move forward. I didn't say anything. What did I say? Nothing. But guess what you walked away with it as a reporter? A quote. This is what I want y'all to understand. What is a reporter trying to get out of you?
An answer?
Say it again.
An answer?
In better terms, a quote. They already wrote the story. They've already framed the story. Until you say something that's just wild, if you lost the game and you the point guard with 9 turnovers, they've already written the story. That's why they're asking you about the 9 turnovers. Because the story is about the 9 turnovers. Now, if you come out and say, well, my coach is an idiot and he put me in bad positions, now they're going, oh, this is good, but I got to start over on the story. Now the story gets scrapped because you just went rogue. But this is what I want y'all to understand. The story of the game, 9 times out of 10, your coach will tell you right when the game's over, guys, we didn't defend well enough, we got crushed on the glass, and we turned the ball over too many times. The reporter's already written that. They're getting a quote from you to match it or to call somebody out. And when you call somebody out, guess what? They love you, but they're mad at you. That's why they keep going at you. You know why they're mad at you? Because they got to start over.
Yeah.
So now they're going to go at you. Because if I'm going to be mad at you because I already got to rewrite my story, I'm going to make sure you give me enough so I can bury you with your own words. If you think I'm lying, look it up. All over the place.
But he has to rewrite the story due to the fact that he said it was because of his coach.
Yeah. Because guess what? His turnovers don't matter no more. Now it's the player versus the coach. The player versus the coach. Oh, they got locker room issues. They got problems on the team. They're fractured. He's going to transfer. He's going to go to another school. The coach has to meet with the AD. He might get fired. Guess what happens? That story is going to get 900 more clicks than the story of, yeah, I had a rough night, I had 9 turnovers, I got to be better. Everybody's looking for clickbait. Everybody. I'll tell you right now, somebody can have a newspaper they start yesterday. The Independence Sports News, I don't care. If you say something crazy, and they write that article, and it gets picked up by 10,000 people, they just made their career off of you saying something stupid. That's the math. That is the math, y'all. I'm telling you. Protect yourself and your team first.
How do you deal with something that is like a public rumor or a story? Like Kyrie Irving, this whole like not taking the vaccine, like they kept asking, how do you do something like that?
The first thing you do is craft a proper answer. Right? Listen, I have my personal convictions on putting certain things in my body. I've done research. I've talked to the people that are important to me about this and medical people. And I feel as though it is best for me and my body to not do so. Well, yeah, but Kyrie, everybody else is. I understand that. But again, I've spoken to medical people that I trust, and they've advised me that this is a route that is okay for me to take, and so I'm going to remain on this path that I'm going. Yeah, but people are over here, Doc. I understand that, and that's very unfortunate. You know, you hate to see that, but again, I have to trust the people, the doctors that I've spoken to about this. They've given me the information and the research. I'm trusting in them. And if you keep saying that, because the first time they ask you again, they're waiting on you to break. Remember I was talking about breaking, you can't break. Then the second time, that third time you get the question, the original and then the second reiteration, if you still don't break, they're gonna leave it alone. Because you're not breaking. But that's the key to it, is you have to craft that answer and stay consistent. Where people make a mistake is they get asked that question again and they go, well, you heard my answer. See, now the fight starts. Because that tells them, you're not gonna give me what I want, I'm gonna fight you to get what I want. Now you're setting yourself up. That make sense? Questions?
5 most common mistakes when black days.
5 most common mistakes. Calling people out by name for anything but something positive, right? Second one is, and this goes back to like the pregame example, because I'm going to pregame and postgame. Another one is giving them something as motivation. Like, I'm gonna shut him down, you know, something like that. Another one is probably
blaming the coach, staff, or
yeah, any kind of blame, any kind of deflection off of yourself. Another one is anytime you sort of ask them a question back. Gotta be very careful of that, right? So if somebody says, you know, guys, you know, I had a tough game tonight, lost the game, what happened? And you go, well, weren't you here? They got you. It's over, because now they're coming. And if that's the first question, and there's 15 reporters, oh, they all coming. See, here's the thing, this is what I want y'all to understand. If there's 20 reporters in the room, right? Chances are only 5 of them are gonna ask a question. At the most. 4 or 5 of them. Until you start pushing back on one of them or fighting with one of them, now everybody in the room got a question. Because everybody in there, now everybody's throwing you some bait.
because they all want to ask the question that's going to get you to flip.
That's exactly right. Because the question that gets you to flip gets their voice on sports center, and then your answer. You ever notice when somebody says something slick or go off on a reporter, it starts with, here's the question. That reporter knows that's their voice. And they're telling, if they work at the LABCITY newspaper, they are telling the boss, hey, I got Reggie good, wait till Sports Center come on today. Why get a bonus for that? Because that publication is going to get mentioned 1 million times. I don't know if y'all saw it earlier this year, but Deion Sanders, when he got into the tour with that reporter, everybody know that guy worked for the Denver Post. Everybody. The Denver Post loved it. Their page clicks went up like something like 450% that week. Yeah, I see the look on your face. That's money. Because now they can go back to advertisers and say, hey, our clicks are up. We want more money to get on our pages. That's money. So if y'all don't think you're a little bit of a pawn for this paper, you're crazy. Just tell them. Just tell them. I think I got time for one more. Who's next? Ready? What's your first name? Kevin? Kevin what? Kevin Cropper. Look, Kev, man. Another triple-double for you tonight, but you guys lost again. Now what is it that your teammates are not bringing to the table for you guys to get wins?
It's really not my teammates. It's just I gotta.
You can say it. You can say it, but I'm saying, like, when you're working on this, think about that, because the next time you want to try to take that out. All right, you can say it. What you don't want to become is, well, you know, like, that's not what you want. But if you get one or two in there, you're fine. All right.
But yeah, I just gotta pick my teammates up a lot more. Just gotta stay more locked in. I gotta do my role more, play my role as a big, and keep my teammates focused.
Bunch of shots. They got a bunch of buckets at the rim tonight. Obviously, you're known as a rim protector. What were they doing tonight that made it so much easier to score the rim? You're thinking about aren't you? And you see them over there playing. Already know.
The team wasn't boxing up really well. Dang, that's crazy.
First thing, look, so let me teach you something.
Bro, I'm trying.
No. Listen. Teach you something. The minute it happens, this is what you do. You just go. And then you go back to it. All right? Just take a deep breath. That's why we're doing this now. So when there's a camera, you're not worried about it. So look, this is your third straight triple double, but you guys have lost 5 games in a row. What is it that your teammates can do to help you in this next stretch game?
My teammates can help me by just locking down offense, just focusing, just staying like that, like I was doing in practice.
But for you, keep putting up these numbers, but obviously you're trying to get to the next level. You're hearing conversations about your recruiting levels and who's interested. How do you block that out and stay focused on winning?
I just focus on what I got going on right now. That's obviously my future, but just I have to focus on what I have going on with my team right now and focus on going to the championship.
How good can this team be? Is this a championship team? Like, are you saying right now you guys are going to win a championship? What makes you so confident that you guys are going to win a championship?
I'm very confident in my teammates. We just got to like it more. Obviously, it's a straight game we lost, but I have confidence in my team that we can lock in and go to the season the first couple of games, so we can lock in.
As you go down the stretch of the season, you guys have dealt with plenty this year. What's your personal goal?
My goal is to continue to play my role as a big and continue to put up these numbers to help my team and my teammates help keep my team focused.
Appreciate your time.
Now,
So,
a couple things. A little bit of billboard material on that.
yep.
We 0-5, and you guaranteeing we gonna win the conference, right? So now we haven't won yet, and now we got every team in the conference fired up, saying, "Oh, they think they're gonna win." Now we're working against ourselves. I totally appreciate the confidence, but we already struggling. We don't need them coming in here even more fired up with that, right? One more point that I think almost all of y'all that got interviewed, your body language and eye contact mean a lot. If some of y'all are up there slumped, slouched, you don't look confident, slump and slouched, right? Lack of eye contact, he's interviewing you. I'm saying you got to stare in his eyes like a young lady or a young man is sitting across from you. But, you know, take a glance at him, let him know you're listening, you know, get your thoughts together. A great way to go to an answer from his question, if you don't know what to say, man, that's a good question.
Yep.
Right? Give yourself a couple seconds, you know, process your thought, and then spit out. I don't know what the number was, but at least 3 of y'all, the first word to come out of your mouth after his question, and then you started. Just get rid of the and just,
Yeah.
and then go into it, right? And some of y'all are coming up thinking about the you know, It's normal. That's a normal word to fill in any conversations when you're talking to somebody. Just like is, man, you know, like he was doing this, you know, and like if y'all listen to yourselves talk, y'all use like a lot in just communication. You know, so try to get rid of those filler words and just say what you want to say without those filler words.
So, all of that I agree. Now I'm gonna talk to you specifically here. Number one, I asked you about the numbers. And I set you up when I said, what can your teammates do? My teammates are doing exactly what we need them to do. I've got to do it. I said triple double. That could have been 10, 10, and 10. Not 25, 17, and 11, right? So for you, you might be like, you know, my teammates are fine, but yeah, I may have had a triple double, but I only had 10 rebounds. I've got to be up closer to 15, 16 rebounds a game. So that's my fault on the glass, because I didn't do my job, right? I was gonna set you up again, but I didn't want to do that to you. But I halfway gave it to you when I said they was getting a lot at the rim. Because that's what they do. That's what I'm telling you.
He's talking about shit you know something.
No, I'm teaching you.
I don't like that.
That's why I'm teaching you this now. Because when they ask a big about giving up layups at the rim, you're going to say one of two things, right? Especially in this era of the world, you don't want to be on somebody's Instagram getting dunked on, right? So you're like, oh, I ain't trying to get dunked on. So now you're not there for your teammates, right? So there's that. The other piece of it is, these guards got to do a better job keeping these guys out the paint. Now that's the conversation. Oh, he's calling out his backcourt for letting guys drive by him. So that's why I didn't do that to you, but I wanted to make that point. That's why I alluded to that, because those kind of questions get asked all the time, right? And there's several ways to get around that. Number one is I got to be better protecting the rim. Number two is, you know, look, part of our game plan, those guys know, is to funnel those guys to me, because it's my job to protect the rim, right? I didn't do a good enough job tonight. They did what we asked them to do in the game plan. I didn't do my part, right? If they got a whole bunch of layups, I should have had 50 blocks and not 9, right? That makes sense? And I know that's, again, you put a lot on yourself, but that's the ideal. You just pile on yourself and take everything away from them. Because trust me, if you're piling on yourself and everybody's piling on themselves and taking it away from everybody else, there's no pressure. There's no pressure. And the media don't have anything to grab onto. All right, makes sense? Any questions? Sure? You always up to something. No questions? Anybody? Thoughts? Concerns? Glad you're here? Sure?
What's an example of that?
What, like reporter?
Yeah. No, I didn't. I asked this like 5 examples or something.
Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock. He's the worst. He's the worst. Not only is he bad at his job, he's a bad person. I've worked directly with him, I can say that. I don't know if you heard the Stephen A. Smith rant on him, but he's not wrong. I normally would not agree with that kind of language being used about a person, but he's not wrong. What else? Nobody? Nothing? Don't know anybody I've interviewed?
Wait, can you interview Jalen Banks?
They don't want to do it. It's fine. Look, I can tell you right now, I've sat in front of or across from so many people and done tons of interviews. From Ray Lewis to Jalen Rose to Tony Romo, Anquan Bolden, actually interviewed Russell Westbrook before. He's actually great. No, I'm saying he's a nice person. But if you poke the bear, listen. Russ is from where Russ from. If you poke him, if you give him a reason, that neighborhood will come out of him. It's just what it is. These athletes know they got to take questions. They know that. They know they got to take questions when they lose and don't play well. It's how you ask the question and how you treat them in the process of asking the question. I literally asked Russell Westbrook, hey man, listen, we've seen it. You have some very angry reactions to fans and media people. You know that. You've seen yourself. You've talked about this. What's triggering that? Where does that come from? You sat back in the chair. Like, man, I don't like when people start bringing my family in, and that sets me off every time. He knew I wasn't trying to set him off because of the way I asked the question. I gave him a fact. They don't have a problem with facts. They don't have a problem with things that are obvious. What they have a problem with is when you try to send them in a certain direction. That sets them off. Because you're trying to set me up. What's the word you used earlier? Absolutely. Huh?
I don't mess with that.
Well, guess what? Guess what? You want to be a star? You want to be? Are you a great? You want to be one of those players that gets that kind of attention? You better learn how to deal with it, because it's not going away. That's why days like today are important. I'm telling you, like, I once gave an interview in college. We lost to Toledo. Still mad about it. A reporter said, "What happened?" And my response was, "They scored more points than us." That's a fact. But the response in the paper was, Walker gets testy when asked about football. I gave you a fact. But the headline, we lost to Toledo. Which, by the way, Chester Taylor ended up getting drafted, going to the NFL, and had a great NFL career. That's not the point. We lost to Toledo. We did not feel like we should have lost that game. We didn't. We're Penn State. We don't lose to Toledo. Period. We don't do that. But we did. And the reporter was like, "What happened?" And of course, my thing is, you saw the game, we lost. I'm not happy about it. So I said, they scored more points than us. It's not really an answer. So guess what that became? The point. They used my answer as the point of the whole thing to make me out to be questioning the coaching staff, questioning how good we are, all these things. And all I said was the fact they scored more points than we. That's what I'm saying. You have to be careful what you say and how you say it, especially when you're up here, not out there. Questions, concerns, comments, anything. And another thing that can always help you, especially you get to the college level because you'll have this available, take the box score up there with you. Look down at the box score. Oh, rough one tonight. Look down. Yeah, we know we got to be better on the defense. We gave up 52% shooting from the field. We got to be better as a team. Done. That's it. You got to say nothing else. Somebody shoot 55% against you. Hey man, we got to be better as a team on this. There's nothing else to talk about. You can say, "Oh, they were lucky shots." Nobody want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear it. They can hit 23s. They had a great night shooting from through. We got to do a better job getting a hand. That's it. So I say all that to say, I want you guys to remember, and ladies, to remember one thing. What? Say it later.
Yeah, you're fine.
Just making sure. Don't leave nobody out. always remember that when you're up here, your words are going to matter. They're gonna matter. And they're the focus of the story. They hate it, but they have won if they have to rewrite the story because of what you said after the game. Because remember, the whole game, they're sitting up there and they're writing notes and they're basically writing their whole story. Until you say something slick. Then they throw the story out and start all over. All right, make sense? Everybody cool?
Yes, sir.
What's the one thing I told you to remember?
When we lose it's me, and when we win it's we.
That's it. That's all I got.
Thank you for coming, man.
Absolutely.